Morning, everybody. Friday, the 8th of August, and welcome to another video. So, there seems to be a whole lot of stories in the news, reports of things going on various fronts that are best classified under the title of "You can't make this shit up. You absolutely cannot." And the most recent one, or the one that's really gaining steam right now in Canada, is that the province of Nova Scotia has just announced what is tantamount to a climate lockdown. Now, let me just kind of backtrack and put some context around this. So I'm currently in Ontario, and there hasn't been rain in some weeks. Very, very dry. And a lot of the municipalities and townships have announced fire bans, which means you cannot have a bonfire. A lot of campsites have said you can't have campfires. And it makes sense. It's incredibly, incredibly dry. And all it would take is a couple of sparks to, ignite trees and cause a larger fire. And there have been a number of forest fires in Western Canada as well. I mean, so we're very far from Western Canada and British Columbia. In fact, I think I'm closer to London, where I am now, than I am from British Columbia. But you're seeing a lot of the smoke is making things very hazy, even in this part of Eastern Canada. So it makes a lot of sense that, there are some bans and limitations on having fires, open fires at home and on campsites and things. But the province of Nova Scotia has just announced that people are banned from hiking, camping, or walking through the woods, bicycling through the woods, even fishing, out of fear that they are causing forest fires. Now watch this.
Effective 4 p.m. today, we're telling Nova Scotians, stay out of the woods. We are restricting travel and activities that really aren't necessary for most of us. Hiking, camping, fishing, and the use of vehicles in the woods are not permitted. Trail systems through woods are off limits. Camping is allowed, but only in official campgrounds. The fine for violating any of these bans is the same as the fine for the ban on burning, $25,000. If you have a home or cottage surrounded by a wooded area, we strongly encourage you to stay out of those woods, regardless of where they are. Please don't do anything that could unnecessarily put you, your family, or your neighbors at risk. This situation sucks. Summer is one of the best times in Nova Scotia, and we all look forward to getting outdoors and enjoying our scenic beauty that surrounds us. I get that, and I'm right there with you as Nova Scotians.
Okay, so what did you get from that? When I was watching this, I almost got chills. Word for word, this was almost a copy and paste from the announcements that were made prior to the COVID lockdowns. It's all about what we have to do. We have to stay at home. We can't go out and do anything. We have to protect our family. We have to protect our neighbors. Our actions indicate whether or not they'll become sick, or in this case, we'll by walking through the woods, we'll cause a forest fire that will impact our neighbors. There's been no evidence that hikers, fishermen, campers are causing any forest fires. In fact, the big fires out west, a lot of them have been caused by mismanagement of the fire services or the agencies responsible for managing forest fires. So they'll do controlled burns, but they plan them incorrectly, and because of that, forest fires started. Or another one where the RCMP was doing something, left some equipment behind that caused a fire. But in Nova Scotia, there's been no indication that campers are causing or hikers are causing forest fires in any way. Now, what's concerning, and somebody has reported that this even impacts, and as the Premier just kind of alluded to, that if you own property, so your own private property, you're allowed to walk it by yourself. But if you invite a second person to walk with you, you're now hiking, and that's banned and subject to the $25,000 fine. So, you know, what I'm seeing here is this is a complete replay of where we were back in 2020 with COVID. The same language is being used, ostensibly the same lockdowns, and we're told to stay at home. Even to the point where he was mentioning how this is summer, we'd have to be out with our friends and our neighbors, but we have to kind of, limit things. They said exactly the same thing during COVID. Now, a lot of people were suggesting that it wouldn't be long until we started seeing COVID lockdowns, climate lockdowns. The fear has been ramped up about climate change to the point where now we're being told that we have to basically stay home. Watch this clip from Trudeau.
Sure, they were doing everything they could to protect their community. This fire, Mr. Speaker, was a treetop fire. It jumped from treetop to treetop and through flaming pine cones kilometers into ahead of it, which is what set this burn. This is a result of climate change, Mr. Speaker. Climate change.
It's like there's absolutely no end to the insanity of what they're telling us. So, if it's not campers and hikers causing forest fires, it's pine cones that are jumping from tree to tree. They'll stop at absolutely nothing to keep pushing this narrative that we have to limit and change our lives because of climate change, because of, we need to go for complete net zero. We go for complete net zero, there's no carbon dioxide. What happens to the trees? They die. What happens to the crops? They all die off. But in the short term, I think what we need to do now is just watch and see where else this happens. It seems that Canada has been a testing ground, and Canada was a testing ground with New Zealand and to a degree Australia for a lot of the initial responses to COVID that were then rolled out elsewhere throughout the world. So I'll be really interested in seeing if similar measures start being enacted elsewhere. But yeah, so again, you can't make this stuff up. And what's really unfortunate about this is that I think that they're doing this, I think, in one of Canada's greatest provinces. If any of you have been to Nova Scotia, it's one of Canada's most beautiful province, and the people, I think, are some of the best you'll ever meet. Doing this to them, it's just brutal, absolutely brutal. And I hope there's going to be some challenges in the courts to reel this back. I think the Premier is completely overreaching and has overstepped the boundaries here. Anyway, guys, that's the video for today. Climate lockdowns, are they coming? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, thank you for everybody that's been liking the videos and leaving comments and subscribing. And for those who haven't, if you could, I would really appreciate subscribing to the channel. And if you like this video, giving it a thumbs up. But until the next one, take care of yourselves, guys. It's Friday. Have a great weekend.